What is up, Cowboys Nation? Boy, Mike Tag here. A cold Sunday morning. I told you guys there's a reason why I live in Florida. It's to stay out of the cold, but we had a little snow in Tampa for what you want to call it. I don't know. And I know Jeff's in Tampa. He's cold. Greg's up in the Panama. He's freezing. So Florida is not what it's supposed to be, but we're still here. We're going to warm things up with some Dallas Cowboy talk. So as you guys are rolling in, make sure you hit that like, make sure you hit the subscribe, make sure you hit the share, all that kind of good stuff. We definitely appreciate all the love you guys have given to the Cowboys Cave over the past month. The channel's been growing. We're getting close to 5,500 subscribers, so definitely appreciate that. And just looking to continue to grow and grow more and more, and we can't do it without your support. So definitely appreciate it. Before we get rolling, I did do a video. Some people always ask, hey, man, what you got going on in the cave? I want to learn more about what you got. So I did drop a video of some new additions, and I brought one of them here, and I'll tell you the story about it if you watch the video. But this is my man, Tony Dorsett. It's his very first little toy. That's what we do when we're Cowboys. We buy toys. We buy stupid things that for some reason are worth a lot of money, and we've got to figure out where the hell to put all it. Right, Greg? I mean, I don't know what the hell to do with all this stuff, but
oh, man.
It isn't a big, no matter what the sport is. I just don't know what you do with it when it's time to go to the upper room. And it's funny, I had to do a living. I've been neglecting it, but I started my living will and trust and all that. And I did have to put a section in for my memorabilia. Where's it going to go? Yeah. And, you know, my son and daughter said they'll take care of it. So I'm going to let them figure it out. I don't know if they'll sell it, keep it, or they better not throw it away. I'll be very hurt if they do that. But anyway, what's happening, Greg?
You won't know. You won't know.
I guess, yeah. I probably won't know, so it won't matter.
Oh, he'll come out of the grave for that.
Man?
You know, it's funny you talk about living will and trust, because last week I had a contact with somebody about setting one up, and I'm going to be doing that in the next couple of weeks. And this is part of it.
Yes. And it's hard. And real quick, we do get a delay, and I don't know why on our chat. So we just got it. So I'm going to put them up now. And just real quick shout out. We got a new member. Andrew Fisher is a new member to the Cowboys Cave family. He joined, and what that is you could be a Cave member. It's a very monetary small, fee. It's like $4.99 a month. All that goes to the Cave to support the channel. Also, we got our Cowboys Cave tailgate party. So when you do that, it's just a big thanks. But I will be giving back to that. Like I said, we'll do giveaways. We'll do stuff. So I promise you'll make better off in the end, more than likely. Monetarily, I give you, like in Baby Boy or South Central, I should say, they give you something of equal value to repay that man. That's what I do. I repay the man with something of equal value. Right, Jeff? Is that how we do things? Right?
That's right. That's what we do.
Welcome, Drew.
Yes. So definitely welcome. I see everyone jumping in the chat and appreciate it. It is a little lag, but it's working. I got StreamYard trying to figure it out. I know my man Cuts is in the house. And Cuts is working on the new Cowboys Cave. He always does a commemorative kind of gift to help raise money. And I don't know if he wants me to give it away or not, so I'm just going to kind of say he's working on something. Cuts, do you want me to give a teaser? Want me to kind of explain it, or leave it quiet? I'll move on from there. But Jeff, how are you doing this morning in this cold day in Tampa?
I'm cold.
I know.
I'm cold. I'm not built for this weather. That's why I moved south. Upstate New York to Virginia to Florida. I'm supposed to be away from this madness. So, hey, real quick.
Yes.
Just so y'all know, I've never met Cuts before. Never.
Oh, man, you in for a treat.
I've never met him before, but I'm saying this, I'm going to give him a plug because I've never met him before, but he put something together for my son after his freshman year in college. Let me tell you, that thing is fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic. I'll have to bring it on and show everyone next week.
Definitely.
Absolutely beautiful work. So
yes, no, he does phenomenal stuff. And maybe, he has this thing where when these guys hit big, he makes one for him and it gets one signed for his cave. And the way your son is playing soccer and stuff, I mean, he might have to do another one and have him sign it to put it in his cave and give him a fresh one. That's what Cuts does. And he allowed me to do a teaser. So I'm not going to say what it is, but it's going to be a chain. We're going to do a chain as a fundraiser for the Cowboys Cave tailgate party, a custom cut that's going to be a chain. So you guys don't want to miss that when we unveil it. We're going to give you more time this time to be able to grab one of those, and everyone rolling out in the tailgate with that chain as we pile into AT&T. I don't know if anything could be better than that. So anyway, I babble on, and we've got a good show. Again, this is off season, so we're laid back. We need you guys to participate. We need your opinion, because this is another year the Cowboys not getting to the Super Bowl, not getting to that promised land. And we do it all what 31 or 30 teams do, because 2 of them are in the Super Bowl. We kind of look back and figure out what the hell went wrong and what can we do to fix it. We don't want to look too far back, but just back enough to know where we screwed up and make sure they're doing the right things moving forward. So Jeff put together something that we're going to get into in a little bit, and this is audience participation, because we don't have all the answers. We need you guys. But just some breaking kind of news that's been going on is the Cowboys are really revamping this defense. And I don't know about you guys, but I like the hires because it's not the same old hires. Some of these are young guys that have done a very good job in their respective positions. So you got Derek Ainsley, who's coming over from Green Bay. He was, I believe, the defensive passing game coordinator, if memory serves me right. And you got Ryan Smith, who's coming over, I believe. Is he the one who's coming over from Arizona? Am I right?
Yeah, Arizona.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he was the secondary coach there, and they had one of the best secondaries. So I'm excited. So, Greg, give me your thoughts on what you're seeing, because this is really important, because, building the defense is building the culture, and the way you build the culture is you got to get leaders. You got to get the leaders that can deliver that message and that get the respect of these guys. And what they've hired from the DC down, no holdovers. I haven't seen any holdovers. And I, some of those guys might've been good guys, but I am good. Jeff and I talked about this yesterday. I am good with, let's start fresh and clean house. So what do you think, Greg? And then Jeff, follow up with any thoughts on what's been happening. And you guys,
I love it. Ryan Smith, quiet as it's kept. Ryan Smith is coming from a defense that was at the top in the NFL. And a lot of people didn't even know it. People didn't know it because the Cardinals were losing. The offense was garbage, and they were losing, so nobody really paid attention. That guy is fire. And then we got Derek Ainsley coming from Green Bay. You know what Green Bay has been doing. I'm surprised that we're getting these folks from these teams that are in the mix, except for the Cardinals, that are in the mix. And it's like all these coordinators are just flying off the handle, going everywhere. You look at the scroll every day, and they're coming from everywhere, from all these teams. I wonder if the dominoes are going to start to change next season because of all these people behind the scenes, behind the head coaches, are doing this fantastic work. They're leaving, going to all these other teams. I've never seen so many move at the same time. Now, How is that going to affect those teams, and how is it going to affect us being better? We are looking real good right now, but we do need a few coaches. We need a defensive assistant. We need a tight ends coach. Lund might be leaving us. We don't know. It depends on what it looks like when they out there in his interviews. And White Cotton, we know he's going to the Titans, so he's gone. So we're going to need some more assistant coaches. We're going to need some linebacker coaches. We're going to need some people to come in, the defensive line coaches, and I'm sure they're probably going to get that wrapped up. I would say probably within the next week and a half. If they wait any longer, these guys will be going to other teams.
Yeah. But they've been pushing. They're not wasting time. I give the Cowboys credit.
And Steven really wanted to try to have most of this done by this weekend, but at least he's got the top 3 right now. I think the rest of them won't be that hard to find, but we are headed in the right direction. Now, I know we say this every year, but we are headed in the right direction, because these are not faces that are coming right out of the closet of the same organization.
That's what I like.
Friends. They're not good old boys. These are people coming from a wide perspective. And like I said, maybe Jerry, when he said it's about management, maybe he's finally turning a new leaf and said, let me open this up a little bit and let me get creative.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I like that it's outsiders. I do. It's like NWO. We got the outsiders. That's what it feels like.
Yes, sir.
What you got, Jeff? What else to add to the coaches? Because it definitely it is, and we've been fans a long time, all of us, and you guys in the chat too. It is a different feel with the hires that they're making now.
Yep. So I'm not as big on Ryan Smith yet because I wasn't that overly blown away by the Cardinals. But I heard they were interviewing Denzel Martin, outside linebackers coach for the Steelers. They usually, between Watt, Highsmith, a couple others, they usually have no issue getting people putting pressure on the quarterback. So excited about that. I'm more so excited about Christian Parker and the type of coach that the coaches that I think he's going to be bringing in, like coaches that are going to adjust the scheme based on what the players that are at their disposal. Right?
Yes.
It's not a one size fits all. We're not going to continue to try to put square pegs in round holes. We're going to try to illustrate the strong points of the personnel that we have. I also like the fact that we're doing it now. He's getting his people in now long before the draft, so they can already start to strategize what they want to do, whether that's, hey, we want to address this during the draft, or we want to address this through free agency. So the earlier we got this, the more so we can go ahead and set up a plan. So I'm excited about what I'm seeing. Just need the last couple of pieces.
No, absolutely. I mean, if you don't, it still starts and ends on the field. I mean, but I do believe, and if you look at, no further than New England, no further than Seattle, coaching, it can make you could flip the script pretty easily. I mean, New England didn't go out and get a whole bunch of guys. I mean, they're pretty much the same team outside of, their draft and a few free agents, but you went from 4 wins to, I don't know what are they at, 15 wins, whatever they at in the Super Bowl. And yeah, they had a weak schedule, and yeah, they maybe had an easy road, but you create those opportunities, you maximize, that opportunity. I mean, how many times do we say as Cowboy fans, man, we just got our ass whooped by this team that we're supposed to beat, that we're better than, So give New England credit for that, but a lot of that comes down to coaching. So coaching matters in football to me more than any sport out there. If I had LeBron James on my team, I think I can coach him to like 50, 60 wins, and I don't know shit about basketball.
David Platt did it.
You know what I'm saying? Who?
Yeah.
David Platt.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Down in Cleveland, right? Wasn't that Cleveland when they went? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's
trash.
We're going to switch gears. And again, this is going to be participation. I got to take the chat part off, so I do apologize, but we're going to flip this a little bit, you can still chat. We're just going to put it up there. But my man, Jeff, has got, I'll give the floor to you, Jeff.
Okay. I'm starting right now. Okay.
Pressure on you.
All right. So like Mike said, this is going to be big on audience participation and big with Mike and Greg. So for me, I'm looking at it. Here's the 6 points for us to look forward to going into next year, how we rebuild the Cowboys for 2026. So first thing, cap management. Second thing, rebuild at the linebackers and secondary position, both through free agency and a draft. Third, upgrade the pass rush. We need some I think we need a DN or 2, and I think we need to either utilize the linebackers that we have differently or get some help in the draft. We need to address the running back position. We need to manage the wide receiver room. And I know Greg's going to be very outspoken about that one. And then the defensive coaching and scheme. So I have some specific details, so let's start off with the cap management piece. Okay. So, and this is, kind of all hands, all participation. So we have a lot of big contracts on our team. I'm actually going to bring up, not going to show it, but I'm bringing up a page that shows how much each person is.
Yeah.
But basically, if we restructure a bunch of our contracts, and you guys are going to have to tell me if you agree with this or not. We have Dak, we have CD, Tyler Smith, Quinnen Williams, Jake Ferguson, and Osa. All make big money.
Yes.
Are you guys opposed to restructuring all those contracts? I'll go, Greg. What do you think?
Well, The only one that I'm not opposed to restructuring would be Dak, because I know Dak wants to finish with the Cowboys. Dak wants to be there long term. Dak's solid. He's in there. Dak's gonna make the money. So if they restructure Dak, I don't see where Dak is going to be dropping off that much of money. Ferguson just signed his contract. I wouldn't go to Ferguson and say, look, man, you just signed your contract. Now let's go ahead and restructure. Quinnen Williams, you might be able to work with him because we just got Quinnen Williams. Tyler Smith, I leave him alone. I would leave Tyler Smith alone. CD, I might consider discussing CD only as a last resort when everything else starts to fall out. Now, I know that the NFL has raised the cap to 26 million, but we're still 20 million in a hole. But restructuring would help us some. But I think if we do it with Dak, we can make gains right there. And then, with Dak,
you have to restructure Dak. That goes without saying. I know Andrew or the sports says don't restructure that. Dak's cap number, and this is, and everyone has to understand. And hopefully, I know we have an intelligent audience. The cap it's all about, it's monopoly money. It's about where you move it, where you slide it, what you do. So his cap hit this year is $74 million.
Yeah, Mike, you brought this up?
Yeah, I put this up.
It's funny because I'm looking at it. That's what. Thank you.
Yeah. And so you have to restructure Dak, spread that out. Otherwise, you're not getting Pickens, and you're not going to get anything else. The Cowboys, with a slight restructure of Dak, CD, Tyler, you can move. His cap hit's not terrible, but you could slide some of that around. But really, it's Dak and CD. That's going to open up huge money to where the Cowboys can be aggressive the way they need to be, not overly aggressive. I'm talking about strategically aggressive in free agency and get Pickens. It's do you want to win now? That's right. If you believe you can win now with some pieces, you spread the money out and you hope the cap goes up. And the cap seems to be going up and up and up. Mm-hmm. So it's like playing that game. So that's really, to me, in my opinion, is why Dak and CD are gonna get done. Kenny Clark is another one. Good point, because his cap number is really high. You got to stretch that out. You can re-sign him and stretch that out and move money around. But that's my thoughts on it.
And the thing is, with CD, well, first of all, Dak's been in long enough to know it's in his best interest to restructure and still make his money instead of balking and saying, okay, well, by the end of my contract, I'm gone. Well, who else is going to get you, Dak? And they're not going to pay you that money. So I don't see
it's all the guaranteed. What they get is their guaranteed money. Everything else is just playing around with the numbers. Right. They still get their, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. They still get their money. The guarantee, that's why when you look at contracts, you look at what the guarantee is. That's pretty much their contract. Like they could say 5 years, 200 million, 150 guaranteed. It's basically a 5-year, $150 million contract. More than likely, it's going to turn into a 3 or 4 year, 150, and the rest is just going to be dead money that the team is going to end up eating over time. That's what it. That's the cap is. It's a credit card, and it's monopoly money tied into one.
And if Dak restructures right away, they could go out. They should make sure that they go out there and sign Pickens.
No, we're not there yet. We're gonna get to that.
We're gonna get there.
We're not there yet.
I want to see him come back.
We're looking at how. So
I think I want him to come back too, but for the right price. Right?
They'll make it happen. So
again, I think we're all in agreement. Dak, CD, Tyler, Quinnen, Osa, Kenny Clark. Yep. So those are the first one. That's the first set of cap management. And this stuff needs to take place, most of it, before the draft, right?
Absolutely.
The second part of our cap management.
Really before free agency.
Yeah, before free agency.
Yes. Yeah. So hey, can you let's bring up the chart again, the salary. Yep. Because the second part of our cap management is the people that we need to release. So, for instance, for me, first and foremost, and we talked about in the past couple of weeks, Terrence Steele.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, where's his number?
And if you do if you do post cut on Terrence Steele, it's about a $14 million savings.
Right. Yeah. So for me, I'm looking at Terrence Steele, I'm looking at Logan Wilson. I'm looking at Malik Hooker.
Yeah.
And I'm
Logan
looking
Wilson, $6 million savings.
Malik Hooker should probably about $6 million, and then Solomon Thomas. So that's about
Solomon Thomas. He doesn't really. He's not costing a lot, and I like him.
Yeah, I don't know about letting Solomon go yet. Because Solomon's not breaking the bank, and Solomon's and see, you got to understand too. Look who they played up under now. Look who they played up under as a defensive coordinator last year. Look who they're going to be playing up under now, in a whole different level of motivation, whole different scheming, whole different everything, confidence level, you name it. And I think Solomon Thomas will come in his own because he made some great strides this year with the Cowboys.
Okay, so restructure him then, right? Because instead of his cap number being 3.2, let's have his cap number be 2.2.
Yeah, but if you're gonna go down and start messing with him, now you're getting desperate. I mean, at 3.2, I don't think we would even have to get to Solomon Thomas.
Yeah, I agree.
Restructuring up at top in those first 6 we were talking about.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But when you are thinking about how we build the Cowboys, and this is not just for success in 26. This is more for success for the next. This is really building to have a shot at a Super Bowl in the next 3 years.
Yeah,
that's what it is. So that's why I was like, if you stretch it, you save $1 million. Maybe that helps you further along down the conversation that we'll have today regarding some of the moves that we make to max and some of the free agents that we bring in to maximize what we need to really have a legitimate shot.
Yeah. But I would just say with the chat, I do agree. Solomon, it's just so piddly. I wouldn't even. It's not even on my radar. I'm looking at Steele. I'm looking at like 10 million and above for some of these guys because realistically, Solomon's next year, and he's probably doesn't have much. He's been in the league a while. He ain't gonna be with the Cowboys after next year. But I think what he could do with this new staff, he's a veteran. He's got leadership. I mean, he was NFL Man of the Year, all that kind of stuff, nominee. So he's a good locker room guy for the team. I think I keep guys like that as long as the defensive coordinators feel that they're worth it, right? He's low enough on the totem pole where if they didn't think he fit in the scheme, then adios and everything is fine. But I think he would, and I think he's a good locker room guy. The intriguing one to me, Jeff and Greg, in that is Terrence Steele. Because Terrence Steele is a $14 million hit savings. He could be a $18 million hit. If he restructures, would you be willing to keep him? Because he's not the worst right tackle in the world. I mean, he is serviceable. You're not going to have 5 all-pros across the board. You're going to have, some questionable guys that are just solid, maybe not be the best. But if Terrence Steele if they went to Terrence Steele and said, look, we need to reduce your contract, we want to restructure your deal, would either one of you be open to that conversation? Jeff, would you be? And then Greg?
It depends how low we get his cap number.
Yeah.
Right. For me, he's not worth a fraction of the money that he's making right now, personally. That's that 14 million. I mean, you can do a lot of things with that type of money. So, and I was really disappointed with his play. I was excited when we brought him back. I said, wow, he knows the Cowboys. He knows what it means to be a Cowboy. Let's see what he can do for us. I was very disappointed with the returns on that investment. So for me, I'd probably look to see if there's a free agent out there, and I don't even care if it's an aging veteran, 31, 32, 33, that can just give me consistently B- production. Maybe C+. Maybe that's okay.
Or and there's some we'll look at in free agency we'll bring up.
Yep. Or maybe that's something I'm looking at in the draft.
Yeah.
Right?
Go ahead.
I just feel like that ship has sailed, I think.
Okay. What do you think, Greg?
Terrence Steele is one of the last Mohicans of those offensive linemen that we had. And I wouldn't be opposed to keeping him if he agreed to restructuring. But I'm looking at his contract, And I wonder if he would even want to play with a restructuring the contract, because it would have to be massive. And then he might want to test the waters and see if anybody else out there might give him one big payday. Not a big payday, but
yeah, he ain't gonna get a big payday.
No, not a big payday, but something close to what he's getting for maybe 2 years.
Yeah,
because it could probably pull out a last surge of Energizer Bunny from him for those last 2 years, somewhere else making that money. So if they looked at him to restructure, I wouldn't have, and for him to stay, I wouldn't have a problem with him staying, because then, if anything, he'll give us depth and we'll have that extra lineman. But I don't think that they would even go to start talking about restructuring Steele. I think Steele is the last of the Mohicans. He's on his way out. They'll probably just go ahead and cut ties with him and move on. Those players from Odigizua up, those are the ones to key on as far as the cap. And everybody below, don't mess with those. Those are peanuts. Those peanuts aren't going to make much. And then, you don't want to get down there that low and you start trying to restructure their contracts when they're barely making much money, and consider they're in Texas, so they're not paying that state tax. But look at how much they're making once you start taking it from them. So leave those guys alone. Some of them maybe you can release and make up for it when you release some of them and make up for it instead of
these people that I'm mentioning right now, I'm talking about releasing, right? So So and Greg, you ever been to a baseball game?
Oh yeah, I played semi-pro baseball.
I've
been to plenty baseball game.
You ever got full off some peanuts?
I got what?
Full off some peanuts.
No, never.
The only reason I eat peanuts is to ensure that I can make it home without having to go to the bathroom in there. That's why I eat peanuts.
You gotta soak it up.
That's why I eat a bag of peanuts to make sure I don't eat nothing. But really, looking at I'm going to just throw real quick, because we want to go through the list. On the offensive line, is anyone in here on the chat, or Jeff and you, opposed to the philosophy of let's play the 5 best? What would you say to move Guyton to right tackle? That's where he played in college. Pay the difference for Tyler to go to left tackle. That's where, they had him thought out to be originally and coming out of college. And you've got Booker, you've got BB. You could either move BB to guard where he played, and I think he likes that position better. And then you got either Hoffman at center, or draft a center, or go get a center. I'm talking about playing your 5 best. Is anyone cool with that idea?
Well, that's on Shoddy. That's on Shoddy.
Well, I'm going to be shoddy today, and I'm asking you guys. Would you be cool?
Shoddy, and I think they will be looking at everything during training camp. I think they will be moving people around different positions just to see what makes that offensive line and tweak that offensive line even better than what it is. Guyton, the fact, when I say this now, I'm not saying that he was bad, but I didn't hear much about Guyton this past season, which is a good thing, because but
he was injured. I mean, that's the part that worries you, is the injury.
The most I heard of Guyton the season before was penalties, false starts, and getting blown. This year, I didn't hear that. He matured some. Yeah, he was hurt, but he matured. He had far less penalties. Matter of fact, I can't even remember one. I'm not saying he didn't have any. And he matured a little bit more. So whether they move him or keep him where he's at, his maturity is starting to kick in. The game is slowed down for him. He's playing much, much better. So what they do on that offensive line, I'll leave that up to Shoddy, because I'm not too critical about the offensive line and protecting Dak. I think they're doing a decent job. My whole focus is on the other side of the field.
Yeah, no, I get it. Any thoughts on playing your best 5, or leave everyone where they're at?
Yeah, so for me, I'm okay with playing our best 5. I'm okay with keeping them, the Tylers on one side. I think it depends on what we can really pick up on free agency. There seems to be quite a few guards that are going to be available in free agency.
And Ken was talking about the guy from Miami. What was it, Bob? The guard he got hurt in training camp. He was a guard we got from the Miami Dolphins. Bob something, I forgot. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be a lot of free agencies, a lot of people in free agency guard, especially from the guard position, where we can get somebody who is going to be 26 to 34, and we'll be able to get them for a decent price.
Mhm.
So I'm not necessarily too concerned about that. I think they just need to decide where they're going to attack, and then, are we going to keep the Tylers on one side, or are we going to put our best 5 on the line? So for me, that's about it. But from a cap management perspective, again, say we leave Solomon Thomas off. With Steele, Wilson, and Hooker, you're still at $20 million of cap savings.
Yeah.
Well, Hooker, that whole defense.
I get rid of all of them.
Yeah,
All
man, you must have read my mind. I was gonna say, other than Bland, the rest of them, if you toss them and start over, I don't have a problem with it. We're bringing new life, new energy. We got new defensive coaches to give them the schemes they want. I'm not for saving anybody else back there other than Deron Bland, because I'm not impressed about none of it. None of it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
So if they want to release those guys, which I think there's like 22 people eligible to be released. I think a lot of those defensive backs are going to be gone. And I'm pretty sure the agents are already looking around right now for landing spots for them, because they will be out the door. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they decided for some continuity, but the rest of them, they're gone. They're gone. It'll be a new house back there this season.
Yeah. All right, Greg, let's look at your next one.
Yep.
I think we got the cap. The cap is going to be figured out. I think we're going to be fine with the cap and what they're doing, but let's look at the rebuild, I think, on the
So got a couple notes here, and I'll try to go through this kind of quickly, but definitely going to need everyone in there. Like, subscribe, comment quickly, because some of these things I'm going to want feedback on what you guys say about some of the decisions that we potentially could make. So first, rebuild at linebacker. I think first we're looking at, through the draft, pick 12, right? A lot of mock drafts I see have us getting Sonny Styles from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Anyone have any issues with that if he's available at 12?
No.
And I would just add this: Kelly and I on our Wednesday show, we don't think it would happen, but if Bailey or Bain somehow slipped the cracks and came to Dallas at 12, and Dallas didn't draft him, we already said that we will be all getting around AT&T with pitchforks, and it is going to be the end of AT&T Stadium if that happens. And Kelly said if he falls and they do, he will run in front of AT&T and do backflips in a Speedo if we end up getting one of those guys and they draft. I don't think it's going to happen, but Sonny Styles seems like the guy that a lot of people are looking at. They're also, I think, Jeff, maybe a D-end, a cornerback, if one of those guys fall to them.
So, and I have some alternatives, right?
Yeah.
If Caleb Downs was to somehow slip to us, right? They got Mansour Delaney from LSU, Jermod McCoy from Tennessee. CJ Allen will be there. I think we could potentially get him later on. But here's my question. One thing I want to make sure we do, though, is stay away from Jeremiah Love if he's available. I don't think we need a running back at pick 12.
No, I don't think we'll get a running back on that pick 12. I think it'll be a defensive guy. And if we're going linebackers, those guys you mentioned, they won't be there. They're not going to be there. I mean, if this was a quarterback-driven draft because people really needed quarterbacks, then I would say so. But it's not. And those guys that you mentioned, those are bonuses. It'd be like, wow, I can't believe he fell and he's ours. It's going to be somebody on that first pick that we're not even that much aware about. Probably a good player. There's a linebacker out there in the Senior Bowl named Betcher. That boy was playing his ass off. He reminded me of Sean Lee, a little bit step above. But on linebackers in the draft, I think what their first pick is going to be, I know we need linebackers. I think their first pick is going to be somebody from the defensive line. I really believe that first pick is going to be a defensive lineman. If one of those guys you mentioned, one of three of them, only three I heard on there that I was like, if they fall, get them. Bain, Styles, Caleb. If one of those fall, then I can see us picking one of them up. And I know there's a strong presence through Michael Irvin and Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and all those, that if Baines is available, go ahead and get him. I doubt if that's going to happen.
Yeah, the only way it happens is if you get these idiots that overthink everything. And like you've heard it already with Bain. Oh, he's got short arms. They start nitpicking stuff, and go ahead and do that. They did that, go ahead and do that. And they can't be that stupid. But I mean, Bain he wreaks havoc. I mean, I've watched him his freshman year. He wreaked havoc in Miami. His sophomore year, he was a little injured, but he did when he was in there. And then obviously, this past year, he was a killer. And he elevated his game. The bigger the game, the bigger he played. So that's what my mentality is. I don't think he's going to be there. Bailey is another great pass rusher. I don't think he'll be there. I do like Styles, and I'd say it depends on, again, the type of defense that they're gonna be running. Sonny Styles is one of those guys that, I mean, he's very flexible, and how you can use him, blitzing, doing all this coverage, doing everything. He's just one of those Swiss Army knives. So I'd hate that it's Ohio State guy, to be honest with you, but it's good for the Cowboys.
And think about it now. Ryan Smith, he was a cornerbacks coach. He's going to be a strong influence on defensive backs. And like Jerry and him said, this is what we need, but we may not stick to the script when our time comes and we see somebody else out there best available in the position. And if there's a cornerback best available in that position, they may go cornerback instead of linebacker or defensive line. So they're not going to solely stick to the script. And he made that public. So defensive line, linebacker, cornerback, I'm thinking defensive line is going to be their first pick. Linebacker would be great. But I think defensive line is going to be their first.
What do you say, Jeff?
Right. So
get you in here.
All right. So Mike, I'm going to throw this one to you because you and I have had this conversation kind of in the past. At pick 12, Chicago offers Dallas. For Dallas giving up pick 12 and pick 112, Chicago offers pick 25, pick 57, pick 89, and a 2027 second round pick from them.
Do you
take it?
Yeah.
So you drop from 12 to 25.
To get that haul, I would, because I think Dallas needs more. They need more pieces, and that's going to get you more value. I'm not opposed to them moving down as long as they're going to fill some of the pieces that they need to fill. And free agency is key, right? If they do nothing in free agency and they're living and dying by the draft, I don't think it's going to be good. But they need players. They don't have a second and they don't have a third. And that's what I don't like. And now, granted, Pickens was their third, so that's a pretty good pick. But
and that would get us all those second and third, plus we would keep it first. What's your thoughts, Greg?
I don't see Dallas giving up that 12th. I can see him giving up that 20th. I can see him giving up the 20th. I don't see him giving up 12 because the first 15 players are going to be hustlers. And Dallas doesn't want to lose out on giving up 12 and getting a big haul. Now, I know you got some winners in the second and third rounds that are people that come and they bring the lunch buckets. I just don't see Dallas giving up 12. I can see them giving up 20. I can see them making a deal on 20. And I can see a team that wants to give up, take 20, because there are a lot of players coming out on defense that are going to be available in that top 20. So I hope Dallas sticks to 12, get that meat. Now, let's say they get to 12. The players you mentioned earlier are gone. And Dallas looks at that and says, I really don't see somebody there that's a big game changer. Then maybe I can see them talking to somebody. But short of that, I think they keep 12. They possibly trade 20 for a haul, because I can see that's down the line. I can see them working 20.
So all those players won't be gone at 12, but we'll move on to pick 20. So a lot of mock drafts have us getting Brandon Cece from a cornerback out of South Carolina. CJ Allen's supposed to be there. Avian Terrell from Clemson, cornerback there. I would not be opposed to trading this pick to get to one of the teams that has a pick 21 through 32 and acquiring a second or third in that draft haul. What are you guys' thoughts on pick 20?
Yeah, I mean, I just real quick. I mean, what I would say with it, I wouldn't be opposed to it if they had their 12, and let's say they got a linebacker. Let's say they got their linebacker or D end or whatever it was at 12. I'm looking in the second and third, and I'm seeing some good players that I wouldn't mind. Now I'm going to be biased. I'm going to say Keontae, Scott. I'm going to get him from Miami. Rodriguez, linebacker from Texas Tech. All I saw him do was make plays, and he was a leader, and he always was around the ball, and good things happen when he was on the field. So I look at that and maybe get some value because at 20, could you get the same kind of value? Because like you said, that it drops off a little bit. So I would be okay with that if they really address their need at 12 and they feel like, all right, we can move down a little more and try and gather maybe a pick in a third or something like that. That I would be for that for sure.
Yeah. And because the second and third round, there's some damn good players in that second, third round. That first round, I watched the first round really just to see who's going to go in the first round. Because I know from watching football all my life, all first rounds don't pan out. They get the money, but they don't pan out. That second and third round, the second round or the first half of the second round of players that are pissed that they didn't get picked in the first round. So they bring in that meat to show everybody what you missed out on. That third round, or those guys saying, just get me on a team. Just get me on a team and I'm going to show you. And if they take 20 and make some gains in the second and third round, I'll be happy. Now, if they get 20 and somebody's there that slipped and everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy slipped, then okay, you go and take it. But that 20 pick, that can make up some ground for them in the second and third round with some picks from somebody if they go ahead and do that. And I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. And to you guys' point, like some players are going to be taken in later rounds, like Josiah Trotter, Jeremiah's son, out of Missouri, right? He probably needs to bulk up a little bit. I think he's 237. He's 6'2", 237. If he's going to be playing in the middle in the NFL, he probably needs to put on about 10 pounds. But they've been raving about Bud Clark in terms of cornerback out of TCU from the Senior Bowl. They said his film is, over the past 2 years, he's had the third best film rated in the country. So, but now let's change gears. Now we're talking about the free agency. I know I've seen Devin Bush on here a lot through the comments. Appreciate that. Keep those coming, guys. Here's another one. What about Devin Lloyd from the Jaguars? Yeah. Now the money outlay was going to be bigger.
That's what worries me. Go ahead.
Right. The money outlay would be bigger. So for me, there's 3 inside linebackers, and I want you guys' thoughts on this. We have Devin Lloyd from Jacksonville is probably going to cost $20 million a year. You got Devin Bush from the Browns, going to cost about 3.25. And then you have Nakobe Dean from the Eagles, will probably cost about 1.5. Now, and I bring Nakobe Dean in because he has familiarity with Christian Parker.
That's why I think he would be one.
So, what are you guys' thoughts? Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say I think the linebackers too much money for the top guys. That's why I think if you can draft a Styles, you get a linebacker, Rodriguez, you get a linebacker in the draft, get one of those, and then pick up a value guy in free agency. Nakobe Dean, I put him on that list because of the familiarity with with Parker coming over from the Eagles. So I think that's where you can address linebacker. I know he's had some injury history and this and that, but I mean, he's been part of wing teams. He was a stud at Georgia. He was a leader. So I think locker room, I think he gets some advantages with him. Phillips, I have on there because if they run a certain scheme, if they do a hybrid 3-4 and they get a little crazy, Jalen Phillips is a edge rushing linebacker, right? He would be one of those types of guys. But when he was at the University of Miami, he was more of a DN, right? Because they didn't run a 3-4. So he's kind of that hybrid. So it really depends on what they're going to run defensively. If Jalen Phillips would be an option, because he would cost you some money. He ain't gonna be super cheap. So
my free agents: Devin Lloyd, first one. Depending on how much money depending on how much money they work out in the cap and the players that they get rid of, especially in the secondary, might be able to slip them in there. But then you got Quincy Williams from the Jets, Quay Walker from the Packers, Alex Singleton from the Broncos, and Eric Wilson from the Vikings. I would look at one of those guys. Maybe those guys under Devin Lloyd, you might be able to get. And those are quality players. You might be able to get a little bit cheaper. Yeah, the Eagles one sounds good because it's the familiarity coming from the Eagles. But and then Kobe Bryant on safety. He's on my list too as far as safety. I got some other guys on safety, but other than Kobe Bryant and these guys, you got to.
So hold on. So just so you guys know, I structured it this way so that we're talking about linebackers first, the inside linebackers, and then we're going to get to corners, and then we're going to get to safety.
Okay. Yeah. So you see my list on the linebackers, and then one quick thing about the mock drafts. One real quick thing about it. I don't pay the mock drafts any attention. I pay them.
Hey, don't disparage them because we do a lot of them on here. I don't want you to hurt our audience, our credibility. And I'm gonna
tell you why I don't pay attention to the mock drafts. Just like I don't pay attention to what color that asphalt is out there in my front yard on the street. It's because all these analysts and these media people, they have mock. By the time the draft comes, this is Bucky Brooks mock draft number 95. This is Palisano's book mock draft number 70.
This is Mike Tag. Give me a plug. This is Mike Tag's mock draft number 40. Yeah, give me a plug.
See, and I don't pay attention to that because when the draft comes, the only time these folks are even close to being right is the first 3 picks. After the first 3 picks,
100%. Yeah.
After these first 3 picks, all those mock drafts ain't nothing. Those mock drafts on TV are there just to fill space. These guys have no idea where these players are going, and they have no idea what these owners and these coaches are thinking. So, to me, when I look at mock draft and I see, like you said, Styles to the Cowboys, when I saw that the other day, I was like, whatever, because it means nothing. But
it's early now. I
would say,
I only pay attention to
credibility sakes, Greg, I did do a mock draft and I had Revel going to the Cowboys in the second round, and I got laughed at for that. So I did pick the right player.
Well, you know,
all the other ones I didn't.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just kidding.
All right, so you guys from an inside linebacker position, who would you guys prefer? And this is so. Would you rather us get a Sonny Styles out of the draft, assuming he's there at 12? Or would you rather go for a Floyd, a Bush, or a Dean? Which one would you prefer? Which one do you think is most likely to happen? Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I think they draft a linebacker, and I think they get a value linebacker veteran. You're not, you can't, if you want to sign Pickens and you want to figure out your tag, and you're putting money and you got Dak and CD, you have all that money in the offense, you've got to have value on defense, and that's drafting guys to fill key roles and veteran free agents that are very strategic, that don't cost you $20+ million a year. I mean, we all can't have everything. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of things I'd love in life, but you can't have it all. And I think if they're going that approach, realistically, you're going to be looking at that Dean, William, you're going to be looking at that second to third tier linebacker if you're looking at a veteran. Just my own opinion. I don't know what you say, Greg.
What do you think?
It's the same thing, because what we need on as far as the linebackers and corners, especially linebackers, if we go out there on free agency, we're going to break the bank. If we go out in free agency to get what we really need at linebacker, we're going to break the bank. And we can find a quality linebacker in the draft, but we still need a free agent linebacker as well. We need that experience. And I think there are a couple out there that we could probably get and not have to break the bank for it. So, and that depends on the agents and Jerry and them talking to them. Well, and then depending on how much money we save from the cuts that we make on the defensive backs and the restructuring from Dak and CD, if they decide to go that route.
So Devin Bush probably going to be about 3.25.
Yeah.
I can handle that.
Yeah. And we need that meat. We need that meat at linebacker. That is huge because our linebackers were almost non-existent. And to give them some credit, Morris and the linebackers that we had, they need a defensive coordinator that can develop and scheme them. I just don't think they had that with Eberflus. So they may they may be diamonds in the rough coming up under this new coaching staff that knows how to scheme them and develop them. And we don't want to forsake that and say, well, our linebackers are totally trash. They just didn't have they weren't given the best opportunity to shine.
I don't know if I believe all that, but let's keep going.
I don't know.
All right, cornerback, right? So if for some reason, assuming we take linebacker at 12, and we trade the 20th and we don't get into the cornerbacks that we want, free agency wise, you got Jalen Watson from the Chiefs, but he's probably going to be a $12 million. Montaric Brown from the Jaguars, he's going to be about 9. Jamel Dean from the Bucks, probably be about 12. So with these prices right here, would you want to go free agency with corners, or would you rather address it with the draft? Go ahead, Greg.
Both. Go in the draft. You can get them maybe in the second, third round. You get some good corners. You got Greg Newsome from the Jaguars, Rick Woolen from the Seahawks, Eric Stokes from the Raiders, Alante Taylor from the Saints, Jamel Dean. I don't think we're going to be able to pay him. But those other 4 under him, I think we got an opportunity to talk to them and work a contract out with at least one of them.
But none of them played that great last year.
Huh?
None of those played that great last year.
Oh, they were good. They were good. It's just the schemes and the teams they were on. But I'm telling you, one of those guys will make it in our scheme. You got to understand, it's going to be how our defensive coordinator schemes these guys and develops them. You could take, and I always go back to the Belichick theory. You look at these players that everybody said, oh, man, he's washed up, he's trash, he's this. But when they got to the Patriots, Belichick knew how to use these guys. He knew how to scheme these guys, and these guys became great. That's what you need. Eberflus is not a scheme.
Wait. So I'm going to disagree. When Belichick picked up older free agents, he picked them up for specific reasons to work within his system. He picked up people that he knew were going to work in the system, not people who may be better physically, but didn't work within his system. I thought he was very specific with the people that he picked. Mike, what are your thoughts on the cornerbacks?
Yeah, I mean, I'm of the opinion of you're going to have to get some value. If you can draft a guy, like if you're able to get, the kid from LSU or someone like that, then great. An interesting one is Woolen. And I'm no expert on every team in the NFL, so I'm just going by optics and what I read and what I see. And this was a kid that in 22 was he led the league in interceptions. He was a Pro Bowler, all pro. He was in the running for defensive rookie of the year. I mean, he was right in there. And so he's one of those guys that fell out of favor with the coach, right? So he was there starting. And then this year, for whatever reason, fell out of favor. Now, I don't know why. I don't know if it was scheme. I don't know if it was personality. I don't know what it is. But I look at someone like that and say, you know what? Maybe there's something there with him. Maybe there's something that you can kind of get that play back to where he was, the year before, and what happened. I don't know. So I think the Cowboys are going to have to go, again, surgical in how they approach it. They're not going to be able to go sign another cornerback for $30 million, $25 million, whatever it is. They just don't have the money. You can't have everything. Now, if you don't have Pickens and you trade him, all right, now you got something. You got money to play with, and you could do that. But I think we all agree, Pickens in the offense, you want a key. You want that. You want that offensive firepower. We want to build the defense through the draft and through free agency being very smart about it. Then you're going to be looking at the Alante Taylors. You're going to be looking at the Woolens and seeing where you can get maybe some life in there. Talking about safety, Reed Blankenship may be a guy that is familiar with the Eagles, defensive coordinator. He can come in. You got to be strong up the middle, right, Jeff? We talk about it. You got to be strong with D tackles, linebacker, and secondary is our Achilles heel. We got to do something.
And that brings us to the next point. Strong up the middle. Talk about safeties. Like we haven't had a significant corner since Woody. I mean, that's how bad it's been. And there's some coming up in free agency. Brian Cook from the safeties, but he's going to cost about $14 million a year. Reed Blankenship from the Eagles. You got the familiarity. You already got the tie-in with Christian Parker. He's going to cost about $7 million. And then you have Ardarius Washington from the Ravens, but he was hurt all last season.
Mm-hmm.
But he's good. And because he was hurt all last year, he's probably going to be cheaper. Mike, what are your thoughts on addressing the safety position? You think it's draft? You think it's free agency? And if it's free agency, who you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, unless you got Downs, like somehow, some way fell to Dallas in that, at 12, which, safeties is kind of funky because you can get a run on other positions, edge rusher, that end up, cornerbacks, they value more. Some teams don't value safeties as high. So you see safeties fall. So if you were to if Downs is there, I am doing backflips and I'm grabbing him because he's going to instantly change everything within that secondary. But if you don't get him, I'm not, jumping up and down for some of the other safeties in the draft. So I think they've got to address it in free agency. I know some people in the chat talked about Malik Hooker and keeping him. I'm not totally against Malik Hooker, but I'm just over, I'd rather just start fresh back there. Reed Blankenship, if you're going to invest in someone, would make sense because of the familiarity that you have with the Eagles. So that one makes sense. Kobe Bryant, you named a couple other ones. Kobe Bryant coming from Seattle. I mean, you're winning programs and things like that. So I'm a big believer in, if you're going to get somebody that maybe is from a winning program, because I think safety is critical. Like you said, strong up the middle, and you gotta have somebody. And if it's not going to be Downs, you better find somebody that can lead that defense.
And mine's Cam Curl from the Rams, Kobe Bryant from the Seahawks, Jaquan Brisker from the Bears, Reed Blankenship from the Eagles, obviously.
And Cowboy fan, who is your guy? I like that. Blankenship isn't the guy we need. Who is the guy that we need? Who's the guy that we need? I'd love that opinion because I don't know. You might have a better guy than I do.
And we can bring Jalen Thompson from the Cardinals. Ryan Smith's got familiarity with him, and Jalen Thompson, he's a free agent. He's a good safety. We can bring him.
Cost you 9.5.
We can bring him back, and bring him from the Cardinals, and that's that familiarity with that coach too, and that can be the experience and that familiarity we need back there in safeties. And like I said earlier, wipe clean the slate on the defensive backs. Maybe keep one, and that'll be up to them to decide who they want, Wanye Thomas or Hooker or whoever they want. But Thompson from the Cardinals would be a good one. He would be a good. Now Reed Blankenship, I don't think we'll get Reed. I really don't. If we do, that's because that somebody on the coaching staff, new coaching staff, is going to work hard to try to work that one. But Kobe Bryant's going to be out there. He's going to be looked at hard. Cam Curl's going to be looked at hard. Jaquan Brisker, he might go under the radar, but Jalen Thompson would be a good pick for us if we can get him from the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Definitely some familiarity with the secondary coach.
And then one other thing, I think we'll still pick up a safety in the draft, but I think at the earliest it'll be the third round, the fourth round or later when we pick up a safety in the draft. I know it's critical, but I think it's trying to get him early.
I want to jump in. I like PFF, but let's just be honest with ourselves. I watch football, and I know you do too, Cowboys fan. I'm sure you do, and everyone in here. If you think Blankenship is 90th out of 92 safeties in the NFL, that would put him in the fourth string, close to the third to fourth string. Let's just be a little realistic in some of that stuff. PFF is an opinion, no different than all the other ones out there. But I'm just telling you, I watched the football games. I've seen Philly play, and he's an unselfish player. I saw it in there. He does dirty work. Is he the best safety in the NFL? Hell no. He's not. I'm not going to say he is. But what he could bring to the team is some leadership and familiarity with the defense. He's not. Am I wrong? Kill me if I am. Is he the 90th safety out of 92 in the NFL?
No, he's not. And the thing is, he just had a down year last year.
Yeah,
I think that's why they're harping on that. I think he had a down year last year.
Yeah,
that's it. I think he was fine. 2 years
is 91
prior.
and 92 Hooker and Donovan Wilson then? Because,
more than likely.
If they're ahead of him, then we got problems with. But
I tell you what, whoever we bring over in free agency, don't bring somebody who was injury riddled or somebody who's injured. Don't do that.
Yep, we did that last year. All right. The third thing, rebuilding the Cowboys, upgrading the pass rush. So whether that's going to be from defensive end, linebackers, or both, right? So, and I think it became very apparent last year with Micah gone, edge rusher, it went from a strength to more of a weakness with Eberflus and the way the defense was set up last year.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been some comments in the by you guys, but it's also comments from the Cowboy Cave that David Bailey from Texas Tech. I don't think he's ever going to be there at pick 12, in my personal opinion. So we spoke about it earlier. You have Jalen Phillips from the Eagles, and he's going to cost you about $8 million. And I know, Mike, you were big on him. He only had 3 sacks last year. So
yeah, well, he moved from the Dolphins, which was a train wreck there, to the Eagles. He played better with the Eagles. I think he's more of a 3-4 guy. So I would just say on him, I would not want him if you're going to run a traditional 4-3. I don't think he's a good fit for what we do. He's a 3-4 linebacker, just being honest. But go ahead.
Yep. So some of the marquee free agents out there, I guess Jalen Phillips, obviously, Eagles, familiarity between the coaching staff. Kayvon Chasen from the Patriots is an interesting. He had 7.5 sacks this past year. He'll probably make about $9 million next year. He's a free agent. Greg, what are your thoughts?
I saw an edge. You're talking about free agency. There's a lot of edge rushers out there that are coming out in free agency that Dallas can pick from. I don't think they're going to if they go out and get an edge in free agency, I think they're going to get quality edge and they won't have to pay them much. And there'll be plenty of them to grab from. I saw a guy in the Senior Bowl, Vincent Anthony from Duke. That dude, I think he's under. You should have seen him in the Senior Bowl.
I'm not picking a Duke player.
No,
for Dallas.
I would. This guy, and he, if he is available in the draft, that would be a good pick for the Cowboys if they get him. If he's available in the draft. Because I don't know that a lot of people are watching.
What was his name again?
His name is Vincent Anthony. He's an
edge. All right. I'm like, he's 6'6", 260.
Yeah, he was throwing people around like White did. He was throwing around like Reggie White. I mean, he was off the chain. Now, I'm sure he's going to go to the combine, but that guy, if he's available, and if we had a couple scouts down there. I think Ryan Smith was at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, they got guys there.
Yeah, if that guy's available, we can get him. He would be great on the edge for us and be a lightning bolt. But
he's not going to be. He's not 2026 guy. Like, I don't think we can't say, all right, we draft him, we can count on him being the guy. I think he could be a project guy. He could be a guy that gets going, and it's going to take him a little while because he wasn't earth shattering in college. I mean, but he's got the tools, like you said. He shows those flashes, and with the right coaches, he could be there. But I don't know if he's like instant. Like, he's going to help us in 2026 if we got him. Because you saw Ezeraku was looked at as one of the best passers. There's a learning curve that some of these guys have to go through. That's just my thoughts.
But it was, and I go back again. Learning curve, all of that. Defensive coordinators put those guys in those positions where they weren't successful. They didn't adjust. And if these defensive coordinators adjust and scheme better than we've had for the last 2 seasons, you'll see Ezeraku, Overshown. You'll see the brilliance come out of all these folks. Remember, they don't just get on the field and call their own plays.
No,
they have to set them up for success. And we haven't had that in the last 2 seasons.
I agree with that point. Our defensive scheme should be set around making our players successful, illustrating their strengths. What I don't agree with is just because you're on a bad team, you can see the dog, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what sport you're playing in. You can have a bad team, but that one person is going to stand out.
That's right.
Well, if you can't tell me that you're looking at our team and you're like, oh, well, these guys just weren't put in positions to be successful. They still should have had glimpses, flashes, tape that showed they may not be getting to the quarterback, but they're at least winning their one-on-ones. They're at least getting quarterback pressures.
Yeah.
We didn't have any of that.
And I would say, look no further than our very own lovable member of the Cowboys K family, Eugene the Hit Machine Lockhart. In 1989, we had the shittiest defense in the NFL, and he was our only All-Pro, only Pro Bowler, only everything. And around a very bad defense, he was the man. He was everywhere. So he had that dog. So I do agree. One of the things, if we get Mikey Schefter, when I get a pleasure of him popping in, I always want to get that. He's taking Mansour. He's taking the cornerback at 12, and he's taking Akeem Mesidor at 20. I would be very happy. I had Mesidor on my list as one of those guys. I would be happy cornerback, edge guy, if that's what what they were going to do. But the key is, like he said, you have to address
the linebackers and free agency.
Yep. Otherwise, that's why free agency's first. The Cowboys can't get in this mode and do nothing on that first wave of free agency, and then you're drafting kind of that need, and you don't know what, you're kind of forcing maybe some picks. So they have to be very deliberate in free agency and not wait to the scrap heap. They got to at least pack early.
And that's why I said at the beginning, it's important to get the coaching staff here so they can go ahead and figure out, all right, these are the players that we're looking for, and they have a draft mindset where they know if these two people are there at 12, we're good. Otherwise, maybe we trade back. Or this is who we're looking at 12. This is who we're going to identify. But at 20, this is who we're looking at. If that person's not there, that's fine. We need to segue and go get these people as free agents. Yeah. So I'm think that's going to be as soon as we get the staff in place, I think that's going to be a really good. I think that's going to be really focused look at the direction we're going. So
let me jump in. We'll get a super chat, and people want to contribute. We have to do it. So I want your opinion. You need 2 good DNs, not 1 great DN and 5 average DNs. There needs to be balance on both sides. They shouldn't know who to double team. That is, in a perfect world, that is definitely a luxury if you can get 2 really good DNs. I think my own opinion, I want you to get Jeff and Greg. I think they're banking on Ezeraku. He did show flashes as the season went on. I think he's that guy that could be that one. Now, do you draft TJ Parker? Do you get Mesidor? Do you get Falk out of Auburn if you think one of those guys can be that other one? And then I would say free agency, one of the names, and I didn't put our own guys, but I thought he started to really get his feet wet and played very well, was Jadeveon Clowney. I think he's that other guy that they could have opposite of Ezeraku, and if they wanted to draft a Mesidor or one of those. Jeff, what's your thoughts on that? And thank you, Mr. Marcus, for the super chat. I think that's the first time I've seen you on here, so I do appreciate the love and thank you.
So I'm in agreement. I think Easy E could be that one side. So we kind of have to look at the other side and figure out. Dante Fowler, I don't, and the thing with Javion, with Clowney is for the right price, I bring him back, but he's not an everyday and every down edge rusher. For me, he's a specialist. I'm looking at Dallas. I'm looking at what they're going to do with Sam Williams. Cause for me, I don't think he's ever really recovered from his injury in 2024. Cause he didn't look like, he didn't look very good last year to me. Yeah. So, perhaps you let him go, or perhaps you bring him back. If you bring him back, it's cheap. I think it's going to be like 1.5 million. So it's not super expensive, but in some cases, there has to be a measured approach to get rid of the people who have been in the environment right now, to bring fresh people in, fresh perspectives, and not be okay or satisfied with the bull crap that we've seen over the past couple seasons from that defense. So part of me is, all right, Clowney, you can stay as a specialist at the right price, but you need to get people who have a winning mindset, and they're about what I can do for the Cowboys, not what the Cowboys can do for me.
Yeah. I see Dallas bringing Clowney back and on the cheap, and Clowney will come back and he'll take it. And I don't see them using him as the premier or the edge. He'll be in the role, just like you said. I can see them getting, like I said, defensive line, that first pick. And there will be some edge rushers, some quality edge rushers available at 12. And I think Dallas will do that. I think they'll get that.
There's
edge.
going to be one of them available if they want one, because the Auburn
Dallas,
kid, the kid from Tennessee, will, if they fall in love with one of them will be
one of 20. You're right.
And
Mike,
I think Dallas will get an edge. Like I said, defensive line on 12. Don't get rid of 12. I think they will get an edge at 12. After that, the door is open. But Clowney, I expect Clowney to come back, and they'll sign him cheap, and Clowney will perform. Clowney will give us one hell of a good season this season coming up. I really believe Clowney wants to stay with the Cowboys. He's willing to take what they offer, and Clowney will bring value to us. And Ezra Raku's going to shine this year. Overshown's going to shine this year.
That's my next question.
You watch what the defensive coordinators do with him.
Mike, do you think that we need to, accent Overshown from, have him playing weak side linebacker, have him be part of every single blitz package we have him be in for nickel downs because of his speed, his length, his athleticism? Like, do you think that we are underutilized last year? Did we underutilize Overshown when he came back?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely they had. And if you saw with Zimmer and what Zimmer was doing with him later in the year, he had Overshown doing, Swiss Army knife. And then under Eberflus, it was like, stay in your corner. You're going to stay on that side of the field. And he is too valuable. And I had the opportunity, and I wish I'm one of those guys that if I talk to someone, I'm kind of very shy and laid back until I get comfortable. But I had the opportunity to sit next to his dad at one of the games last year. And it just was by chance. And I didn't realize it till about halfway through. And then hearing him talk, I started putting two and two together. And he was not a fan of Eberflus. He hated the way that he was utilizing the players, and especially with Overshown, his son. And so they needed to change some. Overshown is one of those guys that is so versatile. You almost wish you ran a hybrid 3-4 sometimes, because you'd love to bring him as that outside linebacker in positions. And I think they can use him that way. Even they've done 5 down linemen and kind of, mix him in one of those 5 and kind of move him around. I think they've got to do it. I think they've got to utilize him. Now, the question's always going to be, his health, right? He's shown flashes, but it hasn't been consistent because of injury. So that's my thoughts. But real quick, because if we ever get a super chat, and this is a new one from Junior, and definitely appreciate it. Have you guys given up on Houston? Houston's the interesting one because he was, I believe, our sack leader, and he very limited time. He had a huge preseason. So is that a forgotten name that we forgot with the Cowboys in that rotation?
Someone mentioned it in the thing. They called him a Jag, just another guy. And I don't know. I need to see it. He will be given every opportunity with a new coaching staff to show what he is or what he isn't. And I'll leave that at that.
You got those people, even on the job. You got those people that are barn burners. You got the ones that are slugs. And you got those people that are consistent and just get the job done. They don't take a lot of fanfare. They come in 9 to 5. They do what they need to do, and they're consistent. And that's what Houston is. Houston's consistent. He doesn't have to be a superstar. He's consistent in his position and what he does. And I don't see why Houston, because you don't hear his name all the time, I don't see why Houston is an issue.
I don't think he is.
I would keep Houston.
I would too.
Houston.
But do you think he could be? Do you think could be more than what he was this year? Like, his rookie year with Detroit, he had 8 sacks, and he's kind of falling out. And then he comes to the Cowboys, and in the preseason, he looked, you see him early on, like, oh my God, what do we got with this guy? And in practice, his name would come up, and during the season, he was very limited. He didn't get. I'm looking at his snap count. He just didn't get a lot of play, but he
still got 5.5 sacks.
But I still say, and I'm gonna harp on this until I die. Eberflus was trash. I don't care about plays. Eberflus was trash. He didn't know how. It's more than just your skill on the field. When you come back and you got that defensive coordinator who motivates and brings out of you what you know you have, but somebody brings it out of you. That unity, that cohesiveness, that motivation, confidence, that let's go kick ass, that makes a huge difference in anybody's psyche. Whether you cut your damn grass.
May I approach the bench, sir?
Go ahead, Jeff.
If you're a dog, I don't need it from anybody else. That's in here.
But you don't. But Houston don't have to be a. Everybody is not a dog. Everybody can't be a dog. If everybody's a dog, then you got 12, 13, 11 superstars. He is that guy that's consistent. He does what he needs to do. He gets the job done. You don't have to have fanfare about him. Those are the players you need. They call them lunch bucket players. Those are the players you need. Everybody is not going to be a dog. Dogs.
I mean, you look at the Cowboys, and I was watching an interview, and Jim Jeffcoat they were interviewing him, and a lot of people forgot about Jim Jeffcoat, and he was with the Cowboys in the mid '80s. He was on the Landry. He was one of the few Landry hangovers that Jimmy Johnson kept, and Jimmy Johnson brought him into the office and said, "Hey, just want to let you know, we're getting Charles Haley, so you're going to lose your starting spot. But I promise you this, you're going to be better, and your career is going to be better, and you're going to be more impactful on the team." So I guess the point is, to your point, Greg, you can't have all pros, 5 deep. You need guys like a Jim Jeffcoat, like a Kevin Gogan, like Tony Tolbert as well. I mean, he was a stud. He could have been the man on any other team, but with Dallas, they played a lot of rotational. Jimmy Jones, Russell Maryland. Look at Russell Maryland was our first pick, but if you look at his numbers, he's not a Hall of Famer, but he was pretty damn important to that defensive line, those Super Bowl teams. You go to linebacker. So I get what you say. You can't have James Houston and some of these guys, they can be part of this team, even though they're not the man. Now we need the man. You got to have the man, right? You got to have 2 guys that are going to be the man. So it's who are the 2 guys that are going to be the man?
So let me clarify. One, I was never saying get rid of Houston.
Yeah.
I don't think he's great, but I have no problem with him being a rotational squad player. None whatsoever. I was only commenting what Greg was saying about coaches and how they can sometimes motivate people in order to bring something special out of them. And I wasn't referring to Houston. I was referring in general. For me,
in general, no, I agree.
Yeah, I don't.
But these guys want to have it, and that's where I look at Sam Williams, and I get caught up into this because you see the talent, but it's been year after year, and he's always been our breakout guy for 4 years now, and it doesn't translate. And the only thing I think with Sam Williams is penalties at wrong time, undisciplined, that kind of thing, right? That's the part that do you continue down that path? Because like you said, the problem with the Cowboys sometimes is lack of discipline. They're undisciplined football team. Bad penalties, bad time, extending drives makes the defense even worse. Same thing with special teams. He was on special teams, and how many penalties did we get on special teams that kind of extended your drive? So that's where I was saying. And we got one more super chat back with Mr. Marcus. Houston's problem was Fowler and Williams' playing time. They took snaps from him. I don't disagree, and maybe it was a money thing or an Eberflus thing, because when Houston was in there, he made plays. I mean, he did.
And
so for Sam Williams, and just kind of put a bun on that one real quick. For me, the problem I have with him, and I'm torn, is because I think everyone sees the potential.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes, yes, he makes boneheaded plays. Everyone sees the potential. And the reason why I'm compelled to want to hold on to him for another year and then another year is because if he gets right mentally and stays healthy, then you see him and he's balling out at another team. And that's what you don't want to see.
Yeah. And I would definitely not want to get rid of Sam Williams. I would most definitely give him one more year. Because I think the way our defense is going to line up this year is going to be way different than we've had the last 2 years, because we're going to be cutting ties with quite a few people. and we're just going to mix it up. We're going to mix it up.
And I would say another great Cowboys fan 864. I mean, you're bringing it in the chat. Definitely appreciate it. You know, Marissa, he's another one.
Mm-hmm.
I was at that game in Green Bay, and that stupid ass penalty that he did cost Dallas the game. 100% cost them the game. And I don't need those guys. That was stupid. I mean, that's what we're talking about discipline. You lose games that way.
Yep.
I'm a Hurricane. You see all the Hurricane stuff behind me. That national championship game, how many penalties, extended drives, that was the only time they scored. That's why they won. I mean, Miami was outplayed them except in one critical spot. Penalties and undisciplined penalties will kill you, and you just can't have that. And that's the thing, you know, that we've got to correct. And if you've got a guy here, you can blame the coaches sometimes, but Sam Williams has been same with he's been 3 defensive coordinators, and the undisciplined penalties have been the same. So is it going to change with Parker? I don't know. I mean,
time will tell. Time will tell. See, Guyton was undisciplined when it came to penalties on the offense, but now he didn't have a bad attitude like Sam. But Guyton matured, got himself together. So who knows? This year coming up, it may be just what Sam needs. Him and Louisville may be just what they need to get their game together and become more disciplined.
Yeah, and just real quick, I just want to just say thank you. I mean, you guys have made this Sunday show. I started it, a while ago, thinking it'd just be me with a cup of coffee talking football and nobody's listening. But this day and time and channel has blown up. We're well over getting to 2,000 people on here with different views and comments. A ton of you guys leaving great comments, and this is what it's all about. Like I said, man, we're just fans. I'm not going to pretend to be the expert. I love opinions, and I think in the chat you guys have given some great opinions. So if you are checking it out for the first time, because I see so many new people in the chat, make sure you hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you nothing. And thumbs up. You guys hit those thumbs up last Sunday, and that show got almost 4,000 views. It got a lot of visibility. So the more you hit that thumbs up just below, it helps the channel. And if you hit subscribe too, alert bell, all that other stuff that goes with it. But definitely appreciate it. I just want to give a big thank you to everybody in the chat and who's been watching. So what else we got, Jeff?
Right.
Anything else?
No, we move to the next point, right? Absolutely. Address the running back position, right? Mm-hmm. So we need to decide what we're going to do with Javonte, right? His salary is going to go probably from $3 million to $7.5. And do we want to make that investment with him at running back? Because he did have some issues staying healthy. But regardless of whether we do or don't, there's some free agents out there, right? You're going to have Rico's out there, and you can probably get Rico for about $1 million less than Javonte. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
bro, I hate that. I don't want to be a buzz.
Go ahead.
We got a new member. We got Junior, new member to the Cowboys Cave family. So thank you. You're part of the Cowboys Cave Army. Like I said, it supports the channel, and I'm just telling you that I give back, and I've already give back to a lot of stuff. So you will get something in return. I've got something in store for the next round of members. That's going to be great. So definitely appreciate it. And another super chat. When do bad habits outweigh theoretical potential? I'm with you. I think, to me, the time has passed on some of these guys. And I've definitely appreciated Cowboys fan subscribing and appreciate all the help and definitely spreading the word. So sorry, Jeff. Running back. You're talking running back.
We're talking running back.
And that is my language because, like I said, I'm a huge running. I showed off my new Tony Dorsett, Emmitt Smith's my guy, Herschel Walker. I mean, it goes down a lot. I'm always a fan of the running back. I love Javonte Williams and what he brought. And I'm hearing Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle was nice in Carolina, but I think what I saw Javonte Williams is what I love to see in a running back. He wore 33 proud. And, like you, Jeff, 33 is near and dear. And I know, Greg, it's near and dear to your heart as well. I think you could if you could structure it properly, I would bring him back. If you could structure the contract like Titans did with Pollard and some of these other ones, I can't pay him top dollar because, again, there's only so much to go around. But I mean, I do like him. I do like him.
Yeah, I tell you, my 5 free agents: Breece Hall from the Jets, Travis Etienne from the Jaguars, Kenneth Walker from the Seahawks, J.K. Dobbins, Tyler Algier. One of those in free agency, if we don't have to pay him a mint, and keep
Devontae.
Devontae, keep him. Don't mess up the recipe.
All right, Greg, go through those names real quick. I'll tell you how much their value is probably going to be.
Breece Hall.
Breece is going to be about 10.4.
Yeah, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah. Travis Etienne.
Etienne's going to be about 7.
Kenneth Walker is going to be 8.4. J.K. Dobbins.
Where's Mr. Dobbins? Because Mr. Dobbins, wasn't he hurt on an awful lot this past
year? Hurt with Denver. But when he's healthy, I mean, he's a difference maker.
J.K. is
Starters. J.K. about 6.
2.5.
Okay. And Tyler Algier, who would be awesome.
Yeah,
Algier, who would be
backup
awesome.
Over in Atlanta. Where's Tyler?
Would be awesome.
Let me just say this, jump in, because I think we got some comments I want to say. Javonte played well. He looked tired at the end of the season. Great pass protection. Not sure you'd pay him 7. Rather have him than Rico. Williams, love him, but I'd love to get a guy that can break one here and there too. And it's a great point, Cowboys fan. And I think the problem is not Javonte Williams. I think the problem is Jadon Blue. When I'm looking at the running back room, I want to look at the big picture. You need a Batman and Robin. And I mean, it ain't the Emmitt Smith and Tony Dorsett days and Herschel, what you're like, or in Zeke, where you have the bell cows. That's really not the case anymore. Even Bijan Robinson, like you said, they got Algier. You always have that. The Cowboys failed in the draft if Jadon Blue's a bust. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he is. I'm not a Texas guy. So that to me is the bigger picture, because I think Javonte Williams is a very good back, and I think we can get him right. But like you're mentioning names, Breece Hall, well, then you're not going to have any of that stuff, right? You can't get, I mean, that you're going too far. I think the bigger thing is, can they re-sign Javonte Williams and get a speed guy to Cowboy fans' point that is your home run guy? And I thought that's what they wanted with Jadon Blue. It just didn't work out last year.
Yeah. So for me, the Miles Sanders, to your point, Greg, 1.9. I mean, not Miles Sanders, Tyler Algier, probably about 1.9. I think we let Miles Sanders go, but I think we really need to decide on Jadon Blue and Phil Maffa.
Yeah. So Maffa played later in the season. He's like a bruiser. I wouldn't just get rid of Maffa just yet, but Tyler Algier would bring that speed we need back there. And who knows, in the later rounds, we may pick up a speed demon in the draft, in the late rounds, that can be that thunder and lightning. Who knows? But Blue, the verdict is out. I think Blue's problem, I haven't heard much, but I think Blue's problem is picking up the plays and the schemes. That's what I think it is, because they waited a long time to even give him an opportunity to come in. And it's some issues with Blue. I don't know what's going on, but they got to figure that one out.
Someone said Kenneth Gainwell in the chat too. He'll be about $3 million.
Oh, Gainwell is
he kind of impressed me with an offensive line in Pittsburgh that's not great. So
but Gainwell is one of those Steel City type players.
Yeah, so I kind of like that.
Yeah, he would be good. He's kind of speed like you want, but not almost like a Javonte. But I wouldn't be against it. But they got to figure out what they're gonna do with Blue. Keep Maffa for another year. But we get that lightning in the later rounds. If we can't pick up a free agent, that'll be good too.
Yeah. And listening, sport, no one's scared of Javonte.
It's not a matter of that.
I totally disagree on that. You don't need, he ran for a 66-yard touchdown. You don't need a guy that you got some fear is going to take it to the house every time. What I want is someone to put fear that I'm going to hurt you and I'm going to punish you. And if you look at 67 of his 252 carries were first downs. That's all. 10-yard runs, 12-yard runs, 8-yard runs, 15-yard. I'll take 60 of those over 2 big rushing touchdowns at 70 plus.
Yep.
I want a guy that is going to punish, that is going to wear down a defense. That's what Javonte does. Do you need lightning? Sure. You need to have another guy that you can bring in there. But to Marcus, thanks again for the super chat. I think you keep the running back you have and sign a free agent. And I think if they have a balance, I think that's what they can do, unless, again, you can draft, or if you believe in Jadon Blue, that could he make that next step to be that kind of scat back running back, the home run hitter out of the backfield that you're looking for.
So for me, I'm agree with Mike. We need production out of the running back position. I don't always need a home run. I just need production, right? And if I can get my first running back production, and then I don't have a significant drop off when 2 or 3 comes in, peace. Because this isn't the NFL where you had Adrian Peterson, where he come back from ACL and put over 2,000. This is not that NFL. So for me, I just need consistent production, and because that brings out the best in our offense, and it brings out the best in Dak. Because when we have a legitimate run game, Dak will carve you up off of that play action. So I think that just helps all over.
And then you got what is the rule for running backs? Average 4 to 5 yards. If you can average 4 to 5 yards, that's all you need.
That's good.
And he does it. And for cornerbacks and safeties, it's a business decision to hit Javonte out in the open.
Sir. He don't look big, but
you got to really think how you gonna bring him down, because he will bust you up.
He doesn't look big, but you don't see him running out of bounds.
That's all we need, because those 4 to 5 set you up for first downs, and he does that and more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And just in perspective, he's 25 years old.
Yep.
He's still young. He's not, 29, 30-year-old near the end. So if they got a 3-year deal that they could structure to be very, team friendly, and that would make him happy, because I think running backs kind of know the market they're in, and they'd probably take the guaranteed money up front, knowing that, rather than taking 1-year deals here and there. So I think they could do something with him, and I would be totally happy. And again, I'm talking about someone, because I've watched him at North Carolina absolutely annihilate my Hurricanes when he was there. So I have a higher respect for Javonte than maybe some other ones do.
And the only issue they'll have is if other people come plucking and they want to pay him more.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
I wouldn't overpay for him.
No. That's going to be the only issue. If a bunch of people come picking and say, look, they want to pay you this, we're going to give you this. Then Javonte will probably take the money.
Yeah. Is Denver in the Super Bowl if they kept Javonte? Are they in the Super Bowl right now?
Who?
Denver, if they kept Javonte Williams?
Possibly.
You look at that running. Look at that running game lack thereof. That they couldn't get 1 yard. They had no
but I don't
faith
think it's the
in
running
getting 1
backs.
yard.
That was that offensive line.
Yeah,
their running offensive line got manhandled by the Patriots.
No, they're right. That Harvey weighs 140 pounds. Was their running back going in between the tackles?
Yeah, I don't even remember their running backs. That just lets you know.
Dobbins got hurt. Dobbins got hurt, but if they had any semblance of a running game, they beat New England. I mean, New England threw for 80 yards.
If you to put a bow on that, if you have a running back that's going to get you 4 or 5 yards of carry, and you can always play ahead of the sticks, they put your offense in a good position. So
Devontae does it.
All right.
One more super chat. Blue can have a rise like Corum did. Yeah, I mean he could. Corum, a lot of people weren't high, after that first year, and he turned out like with the Rams. I mean, he's been looking good. And Williams would look good behind that Denver line. He was there. And he actually did good until he got hurt.
They let him go prematurely.
And I'm biased because of what I saw him do, but also my brother's a big Bronco fan, so I heard about Williams even before Dallas got him, and it was really injury was his problem, not production. But go ahead.
All right, let's move on. The next point. All right, so manage the wide receiver room. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so I know we're gonna have to give Greg some time on this. So no. Wait. We're gonna save you to the end, Greg, because we already know where you are. So I'm gonna say a couple things. I'm gonna turn it to Mike and Greg. I'm gonna let you close out the wide receiver one. So, all right. First, and this is just me. I'm going to sign Pickens to the franchise tag.
Okay.
And now, if he doesn't like it, then I'm going to look to move him before the draft because I want those picks. Hold on, wait. I want to if he's not going to be happy because the draft, the franchise for wide receivers is over 20, the tag is over 27 million, right? If we sign him to a contract, I think he's going to want 33.5 a year. He's going to want half a million less than CD, $500,000 more than DK Metcalf, who replaced him in Pittsburgh. So, and I don't think having two receivers making over $30 million a year is a recipe for success in the NFL. So for me, I'm going to franchise him. I'm going to keep Turpin. I'm going to keep Flournoy. I will possibly keep Tolbert, depending on his cost, because I didn't like a lot of the receivers that I saw in there. I'd absolutely let Mingo go. And then I would replenish through free agency or the draft. I mean, if you look at the draft, there's
receivers.
A lot of people. Yeah. There's a lot of people who are 6'2", 6'4" that run 4.5, 540s. There's a ton of them in this draft class. So that means they're going to be available later on in the draft. That's just my thoughts. Mike, tell us what you think.
I would not franchise Pickens. I mean, in my own opinion, because I think that's just going to cause problems and problems that we don't need to have. So if they have no intentions of signing Pickens, I would franchise him with the thought of trading him, and just I wouldn't franchise him with the thought of keeping him, because I think that would create a major distraction and a major problem. So if they're going to sign him long term, then I'm good with that, because I don't think as long as he knows, hey, we're putting a franchise because you have a deadline and we got to do a long term deal, then I get it. I'm not a huge fan of having $30 million receivers, two of them, because you kind of see what happened with Cincinnati. So I think you could run into a problem. But I'm a desperate Cowboy fan too, that I want to win now. Like, I am not worried about the future of the draft or the salary cap. And I think they have the opportunity to sign Pickens and have enough money to where they can get a couple free agents and, of course, have to draft well to win now and pay the piper later. I mean, you've seen what Denver was able to do. Denver was able to flip the script and take a big cap hit, and they're back in. You saw what the Rams are right back in the mix.
Denver, rookie quarterback.
No, but I'm saying is you win a Super Bowl and what I mean by paying the piper is Dak is near the end of his career. So if his contract's backloaded and you have to eat $80 million because you backload some stuff, you take the hit and you have a quarterback and you're probably going to have a shitty year and you're going to end up with a high draft pick and you're going to draft a quarterback like Denver did. And you're going to have to play that game. Right. And I can live with that if it delivers a Lombardi. I will take a Super Bowl and live in purgatory for a few years, and I'll be fine with it. But I think Denver, what I was saying is Denver and the Rams have kind of shown you that you can absorb some punches and recover well enough, because the Rams were F the picks and they spent all that money. And then, I mean, they're right back into the playoffs and they sucked, had a little questionable year and they were able to get back into it. So I think, win now, give Pickens a long-term deal, structure it right, because CD, is in his third year of his contract. You can probably finagle it, but I'm keeping Pickens, but I'm not franchising them and playing the year out. That's just my quick answer.
Yep. I can't disagree with that mindset. I don't know if I franchise Pickens, it's to trade him. Right. And again, this is for me, how we can stay relatively Super Bowl worthy for a 1 to 3 year period.
Yeah, and I want to know who's crazy. Am I crazy talking? Or is he talking about you? Which one of us
talking about me?
I want to know. You let me know. You don't agree with what I said. Let me know what you think, and you could be right. Sway me. Help me out. Change my mind if I'm crazy.
The Cowboys, the only way they franchise tag them is to keep off all the Jaguars that are not, I don't mean the team, the Jaguars, the animal, from getting them before they get to March.
Correct.
Because they're negotiating and they're not quite there yet.
So, Greg, before I let you go, we're all in agreement that we're franchising him to either sign him to a long-term deal or to trade him. It's not to play out the season.
Right.
Okay.
So franchise him to make the long-term deal.
Yep.
And I have all the confidence in the world. I'm gonna say something, and I need to kick myself in the ass.
I know what he's going.
I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna kick myself in the ass for it because I never give this man credit, and I won't give him credit either until we get Lombardi.
Oh my God!
I know what's coming. I know what's coming.
I have all the confidence in the world that Jerry Janky Jones will sign Pickens to a long-term contract. And why? Because they are going to restructure. They're going to look at these other people to restructure, and it's going to make it available. And Dak and these guys are going to be willing for that restructure so he can keep that weapon, have that weapon in them bookends on the end. And Pickens, I don't think he will ask for Lamb's money. It'll be short, maybe a little more shorter than we're expecting, but it'll be short because he wants to be there, and Dak will have his weapons. So, Jerry, if you're out there, the one and only time, there's a comet in the zenith that just occurred, and you finally got something that came out of my lips that you probably never get again until we get a 6th Lombardi. But I have all the confidence in the world that you are going to sign Pickens on a long-term contract, and that will be the end of that.
I can't.
I don't know.
That was the best. That was my highlight of my Sunday. I can't believe I just heard what I just heard.
Never say never.
What?
Never say never.
Cowboys Cave. Y'all just don't know what just took place, what occurred right there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They better mark this day because it'll never happen again for Jerry Janky Jones.
All right. And then finally, final point. This is the defensive coaching and scheme, right? So we're talking about making sure we're getting the right coaches in place early so we can highlight who we want to address either between the draft or through free agency. I think the biggest thing that we need to make sure we're doing is allowing Christian Parker and his staff to have influence on those decision-making, that needs to take place for free agency and draft, because the defense that needs to be the emphasis this offseason. So, Greg, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll let Mike get in that super chat first before.
Before
I even address that.
Yeah. Sorry. A distraction-free offseason would be invaluable. I'm with you, man. I've begged for this for 4 years, so I hope you're right. That would make me happy. And we're getting a delay on chat, so I'm going back as we're going. So as you're talking, Greg, I'm looking back to see.
So first, addressing that, distraction-free, yes. And distraction-free meaning sign early. Don't wait late. Stay out of the media. And don't pin players against you like you did with Micah Parsons. If he does that, then that's the distraction-free, and we'll be fine with that. As far as the defense being the main focus, I 1,000% agree. It needs to be the main focus. And he needs to make, that's why Steven was saying he would like to hire and get this defensive staff coaching situation done by the weekend, which I think it'll probably take it maybe through Tuesday to get the other defensive assistants and stuff that they need, the tight end coach and offensive line coaches, defensive line coaches, stuff like that. Because I think that Steven he's thinking, yes, I really need you guys input in this draft and in this free agency, because the way they selected these coaches tells me that's the decision making. Not only did we select these coaches because this is what we think is what we need, the best out of the box decision making to make this team go forward. We selected these coaches because we're going to highly value your input into the free agency and draft. And I don't think they're going to let them be sidelined. They're going to let them be right there. And Stephen A. and Janky will probably sit back like this and let Shoddy have those coaches and let them decide, this is what I need. And if they do so, in conjunction with the distraction-free, which is invaluable, we will be lined up on defense, and we'll come out with something far stronger than we had the last 2 seasons.
Mike? Ask me, because I was scrolling through, just looking at the comments because we had a delay. So give me what are you asking me one more time? Repeat the question.
So really emphasis on defensive coaching and scheme.
Yeah.
Right. Ensuring that we get the coaches in early so that we have a consistent and a clear path for draft and free agency and how we're going to attack and how we're going to fill the many holes that we have on the defensive side of the, basically just what your thoughts are with that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's critical, one, that they get the defensive, the coaches in there. Get them together now. And I think I saw in the chat, great comments, and Stephen Jones talked about they want to get this thing wrapped up this week, right? Like this next week, get all the key guys, get a philosophy and get an understanding, right? This is Parker's deal. This is his show. This is his opportunity. What do you need? And I think he needs to get with Will McClay, right? And these scouts. This is what I need for my defense. This is what we have. This is who we probably want to get rid of. This is who I could work with that is there, that I think they got some potential, right? You have your studs. You have your few studs that are still there. And that way they could focus on free agency and the draft. And I think it's critical for them. Free agency is critical to attack early. Now, I know my man Frankie. I saw him from Germany. And, I love Frankie to death.
Right.
Can't wait to hang out with him. He said there's no way that the Cowboys are going to do anything in free agency. And he's being negative Nelly. And I'm going to tell you, Frankie, when I see you, and if they do, I don't want you coming back and saying, I told you we got this thing we're going, because Frankie was my ultimate optimist, Cowboy. He was more optimistic than I was. I mean, he was one of those guys, but now he's turned to that pessimistic side, and I can't have the pessimism right now. I need to be positive, and I need to get the feelings right. So I think the Cowboys are going to do the right thing. I think they see what New England, what Seattle, you're seeing the playoffs, how open all of this was, and the Cowboys have got to be kicking themselves in the ass every single day. Wasted years, wasted opportunities. So I think they're going to be more aggressive. Jerry is, he's got one foot in the grave, the other one on a pebble or a banana peel. I mean, and I hate to say that, but that's the reality of our lives. I mean, no one beats Father Time, right? I mean, he's undefeated. So you've got to try and hone in and get a Super Bowl. And the way the NFL has been structured and the way you see things going, the opportunity is now. I mean, you're seeing the changing of the guard. So the Cowboys are running out of time. So it's either shit or get off the pot, and he better be aggressive. So I know that's a long-winded answer to you.
No, it's all good. So that's the end. That's the end of rebuilding the Cowboys for 2026 , right?
And we solved all the problems. We solved all the problems.
With money to spare.
Yeah,
with money to spare. Like, hey, I appreciate everyone for playing along. Comments, appreciate all y'all for playing along. Frankie, you gotta let me know what team in Germany you like. I'm assuming you're a Bayern Munich fan, but definitely got to see that. Here we go. You got something big that just popped up over there, Mike.
What happened? We get all these things, and I apologize.
There's a big orange flash.
Oh, we got another great super chat from Go there, my guy. Is that what it be? I stumbled upon your channel and I've immediately subscribed. I'm loving the passion and the energy that you have, as well as the smart discussions. Super Cowboy fans, Gregory, I'm loving your man cave in the background. Greg has a badass man cave. I mean, mine's not too shabby, but it's not. This isn't my man cave. This is the other cave. But Greg is a ultimate Cowboys fan and passion. And definitely appreciate you stumbling upon it and subscribing. It means a lot to the channel. We do a lot of live shows. If you're not familiar with the channel, Greg brings a lot of hype. I bring some of the hype. We do Cowboy Cave tailgate parties at the games. So if any of you guys go to the games and you guys are there, we'd love to see some new faces. We get a lot of player interviews from former Cowboys. I love my Cowboys, so we get some of those guys in here. So definitely appreciate that super chat. And really, again, we're up near over 3,000 of you guys hanging with us today, which is awesome. And if you can just hit like, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe. It is the best, and can't thank you enough. You guys make all these shows so much fun, and couldn't do it without you. I did see a comment about Carl. Carl has been banned because he crossed the line. He towed the line of being annoying to a troll.
Frankie
and
said
I
it.
had the committee with Jeff and Greg and Kelly and Jimmy, and we voted, and not one person voted to keep him. I mean, Jeff, did you vote to keep him? I don't know.
No.
And one more thing. We will announce the game that we're going to. And if you're planning on going to a game, I would say, look for the game. It's usually early in the season. It's usually the first home game. It's going to be the first 3:30 game or night game, preferably night. We had such a great time at the night game. But it'll be one of those. But I don't want to wrap it. I want maybe 5 minutes on this because I know we've been hanging for 2 hours, and I know you guys have a lot to do in this cold day. Or you're like me and we're not leaving, so I could sit here for 4 hours and probably keep going. But there's been a lot of talk with Belichick and getting snubbed from the Hall of Fame. I saw Jimmy Johnson very upset about it. Brady very upset about it. Lawrence Taylor very passionate about it. If this guy's not in the Hall of Fame, then what the hell do you have the Hall of Fame for? You're talking about a guy that won 6 Super Bowls, if my memory's right, with the Patriots, was instrumental in 2 Super Bowls with the Giants, one of the best defensive masterminds of that era of football. And I take all the other crap I know with the stuff going on in North Carolina or whatever. That's his own personal business. That has nothing to do with football. How is this guy not in the Hall of Fame? And then I heard Jeff and I were talking, and it's like, well, we're trying to get these other guys in that aren't in yet, and there's only so many spots to go around, and I had to either vote for Kraft or for Bill Belichick. And I'm just going to be straight with it. Jerry Jones is in the Hall of Fame. I don't think no owner should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know what the hell's the owner doing in the Hall of Fame. I don't know anything about it. The Hall of Fame is for the players and the coaches. But are you guys outraged by this, or are you holding anything against Belichick? And Greg, I'll let you start because I think I know Jeff's thoughts. But what were your thoughts on this?
It was atrocious. Belichick deserved to be a first ballot Hall of Fame since you opened the door, the coaches and all that, without a doubt. I said it last year when we had one time we were talking about the Hall of Fame voters. And I go back to Peter King. I go back years ago. A lot of you folks won't remember this. I go back decades ago.
We know you do, Greg.
When he talked about why he wouldn't vote for Chris Carter because he wouldn't give him an interview and push them off. Peter King, you never played football in your life. You probably didn't even play flag football when you were a kid. And I hate it that these folks in the media have a vote on what a player does on the field, gridiron, hard dirt fighting, putting their life on the line, got the numbers, talent, and the careers to go in the Hall of Fame. And somehow you folks that pick up a pen and pencil or type, you have the opportunity to vote, and you're biased because of BS. I don't like the fact that it was Deflategate, or he wouldn't give me an interview. You're full of it, and I hate it. Belichick, what he did, Jimmy Johnson said they tried to do. He said, we tried to do it, but we weren't successful.
Every coach they all try to steal signs and signals.
And you look at players back in the days where they were, and they're in the Hall of Fame, or they had other problems, and they're in the Hall of Fame. And you're going to not put Belichick in there because we were thinking about putting Kraft in there and other people. You need to go back. You need to start pulling out these people from the decades ago who earned the right to be in the NFL. Put them in now, even if it's just a seniors group. Pick 3 seniors group instead of this one from back there. Put Belichick in like he deserved. Put these players in like they deserve, and quit using your personal biases as a media hawk why you wouldn't put them in the game. This is pathetic. They need people my age on that committee who know and can respect the players from back when you used to get clotheslined out there, when you used to hit a person in the jaw and it wasn't called a penalty. Get those players that earn their Hall of Fame careers from way back then. Bring them out of the dust and put them in the Hall of Fame. Have a whole category for them. I don't care if it's 5 of them. and bring them in and put them in there. And then you got your coaches and everybody else. It's atrocious what they did to Belichick. And it just brings back memories of how the whole thing is whack anyway. In media, you don't need a damn vote. Give it to the players.
Yeah. I saw, does Bill Polian and Tony Dungy, were they vocal about him not being in there? I missed that if they were.
If, I don't know, but if Tony Dungy was, unfortunately, I bet you Tony Dungy would take that politically correct road. Well, I can understand where they're coming from, Belichick, but then he does deserve in there. One thing I love Tony Dungy. He is a role model and a mentor for all. But one thing I wish he would do more often is be more concrete and commit when somebody asks him a question like that. Commit to it instead of playing that middle road like you need to be safe. Tony, your career and your highlights and everything is solid. Now commit to what you say instead of taking that easy road in the middle. And I think that's what he would do in this.
Yeah. Jeff, Belichick, do you have any different stance or what do you think?
No. So look, if you have the coach with the third most wins of all time, a coach with the most playoff wins of all time, coach with the most Super Bowl appearances of all time, coach with the most Super Bowl wins of all time, and you add those, and that's the same person, and you're going to tell me that he does not belong in there? See, to me, here's my problem. All of us have our own jobs, and we have to be professional in what we do. We have to set aside personal agendas. We have to set aside biases, and we just have to sit there and do the right thing. No one in their right mind can sit there and say that Bill Belichick doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
First ballot.
First ballot. The fact that they're sitting there doing this to him, I want to see if they have that same energy when Tom Brady's time comes.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Because I bet you it'll be completely different. And that will just show that it was personal. It was a personal agenda. It had nothing to do with anything other than that. So to me, that's disgusting. That's unprofessional. People need to be able to, they should have to put their name behind it. And anyone who didn't vote for him, they should take away that responsibility from them because they can't handle it appropriately. No. Same thing happened with T.O. T.O.'s a top 10 receiver of all time. Easy. And they made him wait 3 years because they didn't like him.
And it was personal.
It was personal. Mm-hmm. So for me, the worst part about it is it's on brand for the Hall of Fame because we've seen them do it before with T.O. But this is probably the greatest coach by most people's estimation. The greatest coach of all time. Mm-hmm. And you're going to say, oh, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. You said it the other day, Mike. Hall of Fame, Hall of Game, like Dion. This is crap. It's crap.
No, and we got a super chat. I do agree with you, Marcus. The 70s lack of Cowboys from that decade that are not in the Hall of Fame, and you got Ed Too Tall Jones, Harvey Martin, just to name a few. It's crazy to me. And then we had an early one, West Virginia Country Boy. We did talk about this earlier. Go back and watch if you missed it. We did talk about it. Steele, we're kind of 50-50 on, but most say move on from him. Couple maybe if he restructures his deal at a lower level. But I would just say this is Mikey asked this question. What are you more outraged about? Are we more outraged that he didn't get in or Shedeur Sanders made the Pro Bowl and that he actually has a Pro Bowl nod on his record?
By the way.
What?
I thought he declined it. I thought I saw.
Oh, I don't know. I just
said he declined.
I hope he did. 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. If that's our Pro Bowl quarterbacks, we are in trouble. Then Joe Flacco made the Pro Bowl. Let's laugh about that. The Cincinnati backup in 18 years, he finally gets his first Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl's a joke.
Yeah, look, it's all pros matter. Pro Bowls don't.
Yeah.
They should just announce the Pro Bowler, the Pro Bowl award, and whoever goes there, it's an all-star exhibition. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. Or don't even have Pro Bowls anymore and just have the All-Pro team and maybe call it the NFC All-Pro team and the AFC All-Pro team and just use that if you want to recognize, because I know they get accelerators in their contract for certain awards, so that way they're not short of any awards. But Belichick is he should be in there. It's ridiculous, and I don't understand how that could even happen. I mean, it's personal. They don't like him because of the way he interviewed, and he was never a fan of the media and all that other stuff. All the other garbage that they talked about that they wanted to throw, the whole Spygate and this and that. That's an excuse, and it's the way that they can kind of get around it. But anyway, just wanted to get y'all's opinion on that. And so I think all of us.
Let me ask you this, because it's always a crawl in my side. Don't you think that the Hall of Fame committee needs to expand the number of people that they put in each year, even if they do a 2-day thing, but expand it specifically because of the decades-old players that have not been put in? Because when new generation voters come in, they have no history. They have no history of these players, and that's why these players don't get recognized. And I think they need to go and clean the closet and start getting more of these people from decades back in the Hall of Fame before they just continue to go from this generation. Because as each generation comes up of new voters, the history's gone. And these folks don't get the opportunities they deserve and earn.
So, well, go ahead. You want to go ahead, Jeff? Yeah. I was just going to say, on my opinion, I don't understand there should be no limit, and there should be no minimum.
Yeah.
Well, why is Darren Woodson, if Darren Woodson got in the Hall of Fame next year, the year after, this year, whatever it is, what made him Hall of Fame worthy today that didn't make him Hall of Fame worthy when he retired? To me, either you're in or you're out. If you got 21 year, then you got 21 year. If you got one, then you have one. But I don't understand what changes to make someone Hall of Fame worthy. Either you are or you're not.
Right.
And that's it. Like they're talking about Roger Craig. Now I think Roger Craig he was a great. Do I think he's a Hall of Fame running back? Do I think it? No, I don't. I'm a Frank Gore guy. I'm a Miami guy. Do I think Frank Gore is a Hall of Famer? No. But he might get in because of his longevity. But either you are or you're not. And they need to make that determination, and dragging this shit out, like to your point, Greg, and we can only have 5 in this year. So then you get this funnel of guys, and then they get lost because years go by, and you and I talk about Darren Woodson, but all these other guys, I mean, he's what, 10 years, 15 years, whatever he is removed from his heyday. They forget. So I'm of the opinion of either you are or you're not when you retire.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Jeff, what do you think?
Yep, just putting that up there for Marcus Golfs. There should be a first ballot category, 5 spots. I think they need to do something different because you got both of you guys' points. If you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer. It should not be, I only have a certain amount of selections, right? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to sit there and tell me that someone is this great, but just because the amount of people that were great during that time frame, they're not allowed to get into the Hall, that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
I think there's another side to it too, because for me, I think Roger Craig was a good running back. I think that he was a nice guy. Is he a Hall of Fame running back? I don't know.
Debatable.
And so I think sometimes the bar is set too low.
Yeah.
For people to get into, it is supposed to be the best of the best of the best. Mm-hmm. And some of the people you see in there, it's kind of like, were you really that? Were you really that guy during the time frame that you played? So I'm kind of, it just bothers me. It bothers me, and I don't think the people who vote. I think you should have to put your name on the people that you voted for.
You should.
And the people you didn't.
Public.
Right? Don't hide in the shadows. Yeah. Man up or woman up and sit there and be out there so you can take the criticism that you rightfully deserve when you abuse the privileges that you have in the position that you own.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't know if Reggie Wayne's a Hall of Famer, and I'm a Miami guy. I don't think
know.
he is. Like
I think
he was really good. He was really.
But he was second fiddle to Marvin Harrison.
You have to be the elite in your era. Like, and that's the way I look at it. Elite in your era, and he was really good. But I don't know if he's elite. And I would just say this. I know we always get the OJ joke. OJ is a Hall of Famer. I mean, was he a bad guy? Maybe he was after he retired, but his football career, he is a Hall of Famer. And I agree. Belichick should be in. But outside of the personal stuff, maybe that's what they need to do. 5 current, 5 older, 5 seniors, or what, however, if they're there, they should be. Because I think when you look and people say, well, why should Ed Too Tall Jones be in a Hall of Fame? You have to watch his career and what he did in his time.
In his era.
He changed the game in his era for his position, his size. You could talk to a 10-year-old kid and say, who's too tall? I mean, you cannot talk about the NFL history without mentioning Too Tall Jones. That's why I say he should be in there. Harvey Martin goes without saying with all the sacks and everything like that. He has career. And he played in a time where they didn't keep sacks as a stat. So then they got kind of screwed. Some of these pass rushers, they had to go back and count them all and try and get their numbers right to what it was. So the older guys kind of got screwed. And I think these younger guys in this pass-happy era that we're in, they're going to look and say, well, this guy should be Hall of Fame. Michael Irvin, he only had 750 catches and 12,000 yards. You know what I mean? Troy Aikman. Yeah, same thing.
And Deacon Jones, they never kept stats back in his day, but fortunately, he finally got in because they recognized that. And my biggest issue about the whole thing is, it just burns my chops that is so many people back in the day when you didn't have the safety rules, you didn't have the technical helmets, you didn't have all the stuff that you got now that keeps players safe and allow them to play longer. You didn't have that. It was murder on those fields. And way back then, these guys earned the opportunity, these older guys, to be in the Hall of Fame playing under the worst conditions anybody could ever play under. And they still played and earned their. And I just hated that we got so many older players from back to the inception of the football all the way up at least to the 70s that aren't in the Hall of Fame that deserve to be in there. And these guys came through where you had people like Tatum paralyzing people and people getting, and the fields were atrocious, rocks on the field. I just hated that these players from way back, and they're never going to get the opportunity because every year that goes by, new voters are on there who have any clue about history, and all they think about is what's in front of them. And that's why I always been on this crusade about Too Tall Jones, because he deserves to be in there. And if he ever gets selected, it'll be a great day in America if Too Tall Jones finally gets in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I would just say, we've been going for a long time, and definitely thank everyone, all the subscribers, everyone on the channel, everyone hit the likes, all the new people. We definitely appreciate it on a cold Sunday day. I don't know if any more can be added to the Hall of Fame and the conversations that we had. It's been awesome. And like I said, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome to the Cowboys Cave family. We do a lot of live shows. We'll do some pre-recorded stuff. I did a video yesterday. If you guys want to check it out, some new additions to my Cowboys Cave that's in the other side of the house, definitely check that out. But really appreciate all the support to the channel. This was a great, almost 2.5 hours of talking. 3,000 of you guys hanging with us. A bunch of new subscribers that we saw, new people to the Cowboys Cave family. So I personally can't thank you enough. When I started this channel, years ago, it's basically built around a bunch of friends, and you got Kelly K9 and Jimmy D and Greg and Jeff. It was just like, man, just some Cowboy fans and football fans in general, just talking football, and hopefully some people will watch. And I look back at our first show, and it's, got a little better. Graphics maybe get a little better, trying to figure out how to handle all this stuff. Audio maybe got better. I don't know, but it's definitely been a lot of fun. So I just want to say thank you. I don't know, Greg, Jeff, if you got any final words as we roll into start to another week.
Yeah, real quick. One of the biggest compliments I give people is I could drink beer with you, right? I'm really specific about the people that I choose to spend my time with, the people that I choose to share a conversation with. So one of the comment that I always say is, I could drink beer with them. Obviously, the two here that are on the show with me, absolutely. But everyone in the comment section, everyone part of the Cowboys Cave, 1000%. I appreciate all the comments, all the opinions, all the feedback. Even if you're telling me that I'm crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about, it's all good. It's all love. I enjoy it. And again, maybe I am. Like I made a comment, said I thought I saw something that Shador wasn't there. I guess I must have dreamt that, because he is there. So completely wrong. You guys were setting me straight, so I had to go and look. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that we can sit here and talk sports, talk Cowboys, and work through things like we're sitting down enjoying a beverage together. So I appreciate everyone.
Yeah. And listen, I am so passionate about the Cowboys. Well, I guess you can tell. I'm passionate about the Cowboys so much since I was 5 years old. And one of the greater things in life, because like Mike said, when nobody's ever going to win this race when it comes to life. One of the greater things in life for me is the fact that I've been able to start from one helmet, and my passion grew the way it did. And I can always know that I can, no matter how bad times get in life, I always have the Cowboys, whether win or lose, to lean on, because that is my escape. And I value everybody's opinions. And you guys, you understand, we don't get on here and yell at you and say, you're wrong, we're right. We don't do that. We have constructive conversation. We love the fact that you're in the chat. You bring knowledge and energy to the show that we learn from, no matter how old we are in watching the Cowboys and being in this game about the Cowboys' life. And I love the fact that Mike and I really were watching each other without even knowing it on different media streams, and found out we both had a double interest and hooked up, and I call that fate. And now Jeff's on the show, and it's just like the trifecta on Sunday. So keep subscribing to the show, keep watching, keep Cowboys in your heart and soul. Don't be a bandwagon. And always remember, I love the Cowboys, but I can't stand Jerry Damn Jones.
No, we're not having that. We had an epiphany during this show.
Well, yeah, you were there. You were there. Yeah, NFL should be apologizing to Shador Sanders. That was kind of we can probably have a whole show on the funkiness of that, but I don't want to go for another hour. We're going to be on the show next Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, and you got a lot of stuff that you can kind of watch, but we will have a show, and we'll be doing a lot of the other stuff, Super Bowl. Maybe we could talk about the Shador, look back at some of that, because, that definitely was funky. I'm not going to get into it because it'll go on forever. But yeah, we love it. It's all different opinions. And like I said, at the end of the day, we all want one common thing. We want the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl. However way we get there, the way that Jeff, you guys in the chat, Greg, me, whatever way we think we can get there, at the end of the day, we just want to get there. We'll pile on, and it'll be one of the biggest moments I think the internet will break. I think everything will, when the Cowboys finally get over that, because we've been here in 30 years. And
I may shed tears.
Oh, I definitely
will shed tears.
I definitely will.
In the street.
Because I regret that I did not enjoy that run as much as I did. I took it for granted. And people give Cowboys shit, but I mean, there's teams that never hoisted a Lombardi, and I've been able to witness, just in my lifetime of memory, 3. I know Jeff, Greg, you're 5. Jeff, I'm guessing maybe you're 3 too. I don't know if you remember that 70.
Nah, I'm 3. I'm 3.
And just so the fans know, I'm old enough to have watched them in every Super Bowl they played, win or lose.
Yeah.
So
go ahead. It's our combined love for the Cowboys. Like, my oldest son's middle name is Anthony, after Tony Dorsett, because he's the reason why I started watching and following the Cowboys when I was small. So
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday. If you're new to the channel, go back. We have a lot of player interviews. I'm working on some other ones to do in the offseason, so we'll get back in the swing of things of that. And more importantly, I'm just going to leave it at this because I'll get the last word. If Tony Baselli, you talk about Hall of Famers, if Tony Baselli's in a Hall of Fame, Eric Williams should be in a Hall of Fame. Like I said, I don't care about years. I care about dominance. He was the most dominating tackle in his era. Nobody wanted to face him. You talk about breaking will. You talk about, Booker. No, you go look at Reggie White. He was the only man to tame one of the greatest pass rushers in the era. So I'm going to leave it at that. You guys have a great one. Enjoy your Sunday. We'll see you guys next Sunday. See you.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.